So, in terms of Theresa May's latest speech, I don't think for the people living and working here already it really changes anything. Um, she hasn't given anything away about the rights of EU nationals living in the UK or people in the UK nationals living in Europe. Um, I think that will end up being the first thing that gets decided in the negotiations, and I think Theresa May's speech has more of an impact and was intended more for UK nationals living in the UK. I think the things that she articulated about leaving the single market, while obviously disappointing for anyone who cares about this sort of thing, it's not really going to change the fact that they need to come to some kind of arrangement about residency rights for people in the EU and EU nationals in the UK. So for me, in terms of me wanting to stay in Germany, I don't think it changes anything. I still just have to wait and see. And then in terms of will I be allowed to stay in Germany, or will anyone be allowed to stay in Germany if you're already working here? The answer is the same as it was before May's speech, almost certainly yes. And while I can understand people who might be worried, because I'm worried, objectively speaking, we're almost definitely going to be allowed to stay. Logic and politics would dictate that they will come to an agreement on this. I think it's almost inconceivable that they wouldn't. However, I do understand that everyone will feel a lot better once that's in writing.
I don't think she confirmed anything that we didn't already know, which is that the negotiations are going to be difficult and people that haven't got their futures secured are still going to be on the table as bargaining chips. I think most people are going to want that sorted first. The people that are from the EU already in the UK, or people that are in EU from the UK. There doesn't seem to be any clarity on that, and the fact that neither side has offered any clarity shows that they know it's up for negotiation, which I suppose for people in this situation is a bit worrying, but it's politics, and politics always plays with people's lives, doesn't it? So we just have to be, we're just going to be part of the process, and hopefully they can come to some sort of amicable agreement whereby people that have been here long enough, or people that have been here are allowed to stay in the EU, and people that have been from the EU that are in the UK, that have settled in the UK, are allowed to stay, because that would be, I suppose, the fair way. In terms of other announcements, I think somebody said like the biggest danger to Brexit is the politics that surround Brexit. Leaving the EU obviously probably won't be the best thing for the British economy, and it won't be the best thing for the EU economy, but it's going to happen, and a clean break, and it probably wouldn't have been so bad. Rich people will still be rich, poor people will still be poor. The world carries on spinning. But the problem is the politics around Brexit, and if it becomes some sort of nationalistic statement, as some of the media in the UK is trying to make it, and some of the EU media is probably going to react to that and see it as some sort of blowback to Britain's past, where it had a sort of sneering look at the world, and some of our newspapers still hold that view. Then if that takes hold, then the negotiations could really break down, and either no deal will be made, which without any deal no one really knows what happens, or it'll be people like myself or people that are living in the UK. They're going to get the brunt of this hard Brexit, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's one of those ones. I don't think she said anything new, but at least she said something, because so far it's been a lot of media talk. This was her actually spelling out a plan. I was pretty sure that the EU is going to laugh at her plan and be like, you can't pick and choose. It's not a la carte menu, I think someone said. But let's see. I think, although obviously, personally, I wish Brexit wasn't happening, I kind of want it to happen as soon as possible now, because this middle not knowing bit is sort of difficult for people that are stuck in a situation whereby they don't know where they're going to be in 2 years' time if they've laid roots somewhere. I'm I'm pretty sure that my current rights now are going to get affected. I'm definitely going to have less rights than I did, but I think there's a lot of non-EU people that work in billing in particular, Americans, Australians, Canadians. They all manage without the EU access. So I think worst case scenario, I would have to get some sort of visa. The problem is, going back to what I said before, the politics around it. If these negotiations go sour, then if I was an immigration official, it's not going to be the British nationals in Germany wouldn't be my uh, priority to get sorted. So worst case scenario, I think I could be in some sort of limbo whereby I couldn't legally work here. I'm not even sure if I'll be legally allowed to stay here, but that's worst case scenario, and I'm hoping that we have some people in politics that are growing up enough to know that people's lives are getting affected, and although a lot of these problems are first world problems, like a job is a job, and everyone, every normal person kind of needs a job to get their normal lives to be working. So I'd like that part to be sorted quite quickly, but it's one of those ones we have to wait and see and hope for the best.